If you have Java 14 installed and you would like to use NetBeans IDE, you will run into some problems. For example, in my case, I have Java 14 installed and I recently downloaded NetBeans installer to my downloads folder. So it's right over here. If I try to run it, and it's trying to install it right now using the Java 14, but it's going to run into an issue. The reason for that one, in fact, explained right over here, because there's a highlighted section as a warning. The installer will not run under JDK 14 because usage is made of the Pack 200 tools and the API. For packing and unpacking, which is removed in JDK 14, so just be aware of that one. In that case, you have two options. Either you have to go back to earlier versions of Java, like 13 or 12, or even earlier, or download just the binary files, which is basically this binary zip file, and unzip it and run the information or NetBeans from right there. So in my case, I downloaded already. It's right over here. I unzipped it and created a NetBeans folder for me. If I go there, and you should be able to see the binary folder, and from the binary folder you're going to be able to run NetBeans, and when you do, you should be able to run without any problem. And when the first run, it shows some help screen, and after that you should be able to see a project section. Obviously I don't have any project right now. I'm going to create some. That should be empty, just like you would see in the first time if you're running it. Click here and create a project, and there are a few options here. You can use a Java Maven project or Gradle or End project. Typically as a beginner you want to start with the Java application, so click on the next. Here you're going to give a meaningful name for your project. Let's just say hello project or some meaningful name for you, and you're going to choose a location. For now it's fine for me, but if it's not a good location, go change that one through browsing. And you have also some group ID information, and I would recommend following the reversed domain name convention. Just like for example, if I have a company called XYZ, I'm going to go with the com.xyz, and the package information is created for me based on the project name and the group ID information. This is optional. You can remove it or change it if you like to. By changing it or removing it, in this case you're creating a default package, but under normal circumstances you would like to organize yourself better, and you would like to provide some packaging information. And now hello project is created for us, and take a look at over here. The structure shows the source packages, dependencies, and project files. At this point there's nothing in it. I'm going to create a brand new Java class, and let's call this one hello world, and we're just going to say finish. A bare minimum Java class will be created for us shortly. And let me clean up those commenting, and as you see, hello world is created. There's nothing over here. First thing I'd like to do, provide a main entry point for our application. That's the main method in the class. And also I'd like to say hello world, and that's it. And save it and hit run. The very first time it's going to ask you for the main class, so let's set this one as our main. Because remember, Java applications requires an entry point, and this is our entry point for the application. It doesn't do much. It just says hello world, but this is the way it's gonna be. And as you see in the output, hello world specified right over here. If you run it again, you should see the output clears up and tries to run the project one more time, and goes into your entry point and as you see, it prints out the hello world here. You can also try debugging. I would like to create a breakpoint right here. All I need to do on the left gutter and click on this line number, and now as you see, a new breakpoint is created. And next thing, you're going to hit this debug, and once you do, it goes into debugging mode, and now you can step through your project. So step through your source code, if you will. All right. As you see, debugger stop right here. Program counter is just pointing out to this. If I step over it in the output section, let me show you the output. If I step over it, you should be able to see hello world on the output section right here. And so this is our very only statement that we wrote typically, right, in the entry point. There's nothing else. If I step over one more time, the program will terminate and debugger will exit. As a recap, if you have Java 14 installed, in this case, as you see from my version number, Java 14 installed in my system, if you try to run the installer for NetBeans, it'll try to run, but it'll create an error. And the reason for that one, as I mentioned earlier, it's not finding some of the things that's supposed to be finding under normal circumstances, just because under Java 14, some of the things are removed. This is unfortunate, but that's the case right now. That's why you have two options. One, either use the Java earlier versions like 13 or 12, or go to download this binary file, which is actually a binary zip file, and once you download that one, unzip it. And in my case, I unzipped it right here and change into that specific folder, and from here you will see a binary folder, and run the NetBeans directly from here. That's fine. That should work. And those instructions should be applicable to Windows as well as Mac, so you will follow the same steps. That's an unfortunate thing, we don't have the direct installer, but again, if you have the earlier versions of Java, the installers should work without any problem.